Hi everyone, welcome to Power BI desktop tutorial. In today's lecture we are going to talk about data analysis expression. So in the previous lectures we finished how to clean our data with Power Query Editor and we built our data model, and the next step after you have to go for table view, and here we use the data analysis expression. Data analysis expression is also called as DAX, is a formula language that you use with the Power BI front end. So if you remember, it's going to go back to report view from transform data. Within the Power Query Editor, we use the M language. This is the formal language within Power Query Editor. And in here, you will have a new formula. It's called DAX. DAX is the formula in here that we use with the Power BI, the front end. So M within Power BI Query Editor, and DAX data analysis expression, we use it with the Power BI, the front end. This one, the M with the back end, and we use the DAX, we use the DAX with the front end of Power BI desktop. So we use DAX to create calculated columns and also for measures. Let's gonna go to sales data. Within sales data, if you remember, within Power Query Editor, we create something called quantity type in here. So now we are going to create the same folder, but within the Power BI front end using the DAX. So we have two options, either right click from here, and we have a new columns, or we can do it from here, order quantity, go for a new column. After click on a new column, so you will have the DAX is opening here. This is where you write your formula to build your column. So I have to go for first, this is a quantity type equal to, press shift and enter. You have to put if condition, press enter, and then shift enter, give some space and a close, and between that now you can write your formula. So let's gonna create this folder, depend on the order quantity. If the order quantity is bigger than 1, then print multiple items. If the order quantity is less than, otherwise print single item. So after just put, you have to put sales. If you put sales, you will allow you to see all the list in here. Sales data, you have order quantity. After that, this if the order quantity is bigger than 1, then print, then catch shift enter, then print close. Otherwise, you have also to bring shift and enter, otherwise print single item. Bring the semicolon, and after you put, just click enter and you close, and then you see the close the DAX. You have the quantity type. So when you have order quantity is 1, you will have single item, and when you have, I'm just gonna select, remove this one, select multiple items. If you have order quantity is 2, you will have multiple items. So this is how to create your calculated columns within DAX data analysis expression. It's gonna go click also from here, go for a new columns, and now let's gonna name it, this is total equal to, and shift and enter within your keyboard. Now if you try to use the aggregate function, sum function for example, and if you try to use the sum function, and then in here just put sales data, we have order quantity, and then you just you put the sum and close it, and if you press enter, you will see the same total grand error is shown again, because in here you cannot use the sum function with the calculating columns. because the calculation column is only deal with the individual rows one by one, is not dealing with the total amount of each, is not see the each rows as a total. So only dealing with the each rows individually one by one. So the pro tips in here, if you need to use the sum functions, any aggregate function, you cannot use it with the calculated columns, because this only the calculated columns only see each rows individually, does not see the whole rows as a total. And it's going to go from here, and there is something called a new measure. This is where you can use your aggregate function instead of a new columns or calculated columns. So let's gonna remove this one. Right click delete. As we said, the pro tip in here, if you need to use the aggregate function, sum, average, the etc., you have to use the measures instead of calculated columns. And how to use the measures, let's gonna go back to the report view. We have two type of measures. The one we already see within the matrix. If you click in here and you see there is automatic selection of the measures, is called, this is implicit measure. If you use right click with your mouse, you have the sum. You can change to the average, and you can change it from the average to minimum, and you can change to the maximum also from here. This is the value for order quantity. To the back to the sum, you will see the sum in here change, and you can select the average. You have the average from here. So you have the portal in here is automatically select, but this is implicit measures allow you to select only for this place. You cannot use it for any other place. If you need to create more powerful nested calculation, so you can use the explicit measure. You can create explicit measure and you can use it whatever you like, and you have two ways to create the explicit measure. So for your sales data, you can just click on here, right click, and you can go for a new measure. You have in here a new columns and a new measures. And also you can do it just clicking on the sales data. You can see we have a new table, a new columns, and we have a new measure. This is new measure, explicit measure. This is right DXA, expression that calculate the value from your data. So this is for more complex nesty. If you need to create more aggregate functions that allow you to easy add it with another explicit functions, so you have more complex measures. So if you click on new measures, you have also to, for example, you have to create. So if you click in here, you have, let's gonna name this order equal to, and shift, and you have to put only the sum function. That's gonna use now only the sum function, the same function that we already use. And if you have more complex function, you can just put the function name, and you have to put where you want to add. This is a new measure. So I need it with the cells in here, sales data. I need it with the order quantity, and just close the parentheses. And from here you can also use the format as a whole number, and you can just put a comma if you like. So you can put a comma in here. After that, you just click enter, and you'll see you have, and you'll see in here you will have order quantity with this calculated icon. And now if you drag this order quantity and put it here in the matrix view, so you will have the order quantity. This is the sum, is the same. The order quantity is going to change this order quantity. So if we have this is the average, it's going to change the average. Right click, sum. You will have the same value, and sum of order quantity, the same of sum of order quantity that we already create. But this one is implicit and this one is explicit. This one you can add this order quantity, the sum, with any others complex measures. So you can create more complex nesty calculations. You will use it for another calculations. And so after you create this one, you will see you have this in the nest. You will have this calculated icon in here. If you're back in here with the sales data, you will see this is the quantity type. This is the folder that we use the formula. You see the fx because we create in here a new calculated columns. Quantity type, you will see this with fx, and this is order quantity. This is when we use the measures, so you will have this calculated within sales data. So this is all you need to know in this lecture. We are going step by step. So thank you for watching and see you in the next video.